So for instance, normally this one is out of the house, out of where I live most of the time. And whereas now actually ending up spending more time at home and still going to the shop because it's that time of year when you have to do what we call a stock take, and you have to count up all the books. And because we use it as an advertising board for the few people that walk around the city centre. So this receiving love is I don't know what others have thought about this title, but to me, it's very much speaking about when somebody is speaking to you, however they are speaking to you, whether it be pleasantly or unpleasantly, whether it be sweetly or whether it be not sweetly, to still feel that love that's coming from the soul. That the soul's real nature is love, and to feel that whatever the words that come out of the mouth are, because even here in UK, and I'm in contact with many from different cultures and different ways of being and different kinds of work. So they're exposed to different experiences. And also this, it's not so easy to necessarily to not be affected by the situations that are going on at the moment, this virus, and people being it's affected people in many different ways, and made people quite fearful in this country of other people. and this has the effect of shaking souls. And it's very interesting that the main topic recently has been maintaining self-respect, or really refining the self-respect. Where is my self-respect coming from? Is it coming from what I do? Role, and that can be a role, not just job, but the role that I play. And or is it coming from the soul? Is it coming from that real feeling of belonging to God, belonging to Baba? Because it's quite subtle how otherwise we are getting affected by the different roles that we play. Because people treat us differently in different roles, and maybe nicely, maybe not nicely, depending on the role. And if our self-respect is based on the role, then we will fluctuate. Our self-respect will then fluctuate according to how we are treated. And it's kind of very interesting. This one has really observed recently how being affected by the way others are, and how to understand that, and to understand that only when I am in a false identity, only when my life is based on the wrong foundation, will I actually be affected. That's number one. To always, I really try and see that always, if I am affected in any way by anybody, by any situation, it is because my self-respect is based on one or another ego, one or another false identity, rather than my soul identity or swaman, identity of the true identity, original identity. If I'm in swaman, if I'm in my original identity, actually nothing will affect me. And I will see the souls, all the souls, as my brothers. And I will see them as the highest and most special of all. But, okay, reality is there was something in the teaching this morning that was saying basically, no, you're not that all the time yet. So, okay. So when I do get affected in some kind of way, it's really good to notice. Really good to notice. And just to say, it is an ego. It is not to get upset about, not to get affected by, but to be aware. So there was, for instance, it was interesting this morning, it was a little situation, and there's been a little situation over a few days, and silly little things, you know, it's all around silly little things, like where something is placed in the house, and what is placed somewhere. And Sunny may place it somewhere, and then somebody else may move it, and and it's like a bit of a game that's going on. And I was thinking today, because I left the house to go to do some organizing in a space, and I left thinking, I somehow have to find some way through this situation. And I had the thought, the feeling was to have love for this other soul, to see that where they're coming from, they're trying to make something cleaner, and so they maybe I put a cloth over it, and then they move the cloth, and to see it from their perspective, first of all, that they are actually trying to do something good. And they're perceiving that what I'm doing is not good. Whereas I feel it's nice to cover this stain and not have it visible all the time. And anyway, I had this thought, and it was really, really interesting, because conversely, there was also thoughts going on saying, I cannot stay in this place anymore. I can't cope with this going on all the time. So that was also going, I can go back to my own place, because I don't live in my own place. I live in a shared house, and I can go back to my own place, and I can be on my own, and that was going on as well. So there's two voices, or many voices even, really. So this amazing situation was going on, but okay, so I just calmly thought, I'll go back and let's just see. And it was so interesting, because when I got back, the person that this is going on with was there, and so the main thing was to just say, look, I'm just to talk to them, actually, to not see maybe the facial expression, which is coming out of some lack of self-respect on their part, some fear, some feeling of insecurity. And they're getting worried by the situation. And say, look, I'm just putting this cloth here because it's nice not to see this stain all the time. But when you want to clean and have another go at cleaning, do take it off. Just pop it there and then wait, and we'll, you know, when it's dry, we can put it back again. And it was interesting because actually, even as I entered the house, the atmosphere had calmed. The atmosphere had gone from one of kind of, how to say, not exactly resentment, but non-understanding and insecurity and sort of fearfulness coming from that insecurity. And it was really interesting that things had changed. And I've noticed this the past few days, just to see, not to see when somebody says something, however they say it. If I am in the right smriti, the right awareness, things will come right. If what I'm saying, if I kind of share it myself nicely, however the other one is, me be nice, actually. I realized this recently. Whatever, somebody's got to be the one that changes. And even if that means me saying, sure, you're right, or sometimes, like the other day, something was said and I knew, I don't think that's quite right, but I said, it didn't matter, it was nothing important. So I said, sure, fine, okay. You know, to make the other one feel that they're being given regard. So giving regard, but also not being afraid to effectively, what we might call, die to my ego that says, I know best, and all the rest of it. And it was like, the more this feeling is there, doesn't matter which side, does it? Which one does it? It really helps to calm situations down. To make atmospheres much, much pleasanter. To enable a conversation rather than a crash. And it's been quite interesting, really. It's been very, very interesting because, I can't really go back to where I live, my place at the moment, because somebody's living there, and it just doesn't add up financially. So that's actually not really an option. But not to come from that space, but to come from the space of, also, I like living with others. Actually, I would not be really happy living on my own. I like to be with others in that interaction. And it's much more supportive at this time, especially to have others around. And just really, 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 really interesting. And I wrote down some points. Doing very well for time. I wrote down some points, and then we can have, maybe it'll be nice to hear from you some thoughts. One was, like this morning, was this thing of, okay, thoughts are coming, but put a full stop. And that may mean putting a full stop again and again. Making it like a dot, making this drama into a dot, making it small, making it like whatever situations, there are situations going on, and that's sure. But we don't have to make them big. We can cool them, and for everyone's sake. Actually, it's really, really helpful to cool things down, to not react, to use, in, I don't know whether you have the same expression in Romania, but we have an expression of put a wet blanket on it. We have that expression in Romania.
To put a wet blanket on it, maybe no, but yeah, don't make things big. Nu face din țânțar armăsar. You don't make from a little louse, don't make a big thing out of it. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we have that saying also, don't make a mountain, well, don't make a molehill into a mountain,
Yes.
make a mountain into
something
a
like that, yes.
Yeah. So that was one thought that has been coming, and this thing of you be the one, let me be the one to bend, let me be the one to accommodate. If somebody really wants something in a particular place, if it really doesn't matter, then does it matter? And this factor of seeing the soul, because if I see the soul, I actually help myself experience being the soul, and it will help bring the other out of body consciousness. Currently, everyone is just seeing the body. You know, this body is a risk, this body is a risk, this person is a risk. And you can't see people's faces when you go in shops because they've got a mask, you've got a mask. It's quite tricky. It's quite a tricky thing. But going to that other level, that one's a soul. So then that also reminds me that being that's me is the soul. It's not Sally, it's not this character. And this factor of full stop, it was very nice. We had a chit chat from one late sister in London, one of our London sisters who we know very well, who's really, really sweet and always so sweet. And of course, things have been much worse there. And one or two have, she said she had been asked at one point, she had to self-isolate where she lived. And she found that when she had to stop, she couldn't go and do the usual things she normally does. Such a lot of thoughts were coming. Such a lot of thoughts. She didn't realize how much she was thinking about different situations during the day. Normally, it's like there's so much going on. We don't realize. And then we do realize, of course, also as well, like today when I have these two conflicting different thought patterns going on. Put a full stop. Put that dot in the situation. It's just a dot. It's not important. Now, this is for yourself to put a dot. You can't say that to others, maybe, at all. And actually, that probably upsets people more than anything else. They don't feel given regard when we say that, but we can make that dot. We can see the dot as we're speaking to the other person. Then there'll be that sense of, we feel they have received regard. They feel that they are being heard. And conversely, we will feel that love because soul and the other soul communicating at that level is a level of love. It's a level beyond the physical. It's where the soul's original nature can really, really come out. So I'm quite aware of I've talked quite a lot, and it would be really nice to hear some thoughts from you, where maybe you feel that you have overcome a situation through the vision that you have of someone else, this vision of giving regard. Nice to hear.
Ați dori să scrieți în chat și poate să traducă Ioana sau vreți să vorbiți? Puteți deschide microfonul și camera și spune în limba română. There is a difference in the way we are giving regard, Sally. I can observe that with some people we are finding it easier to give regard, whilst with others there is some kind of resistance. And I could see recently in my life being very willing to adjust and accept someone else as they are, whilst with another person I was not able to accept them as they are and keep pushing and pulling. And in your experience practically, what can we do when we see we are actually stuck as if with someone, not being able to make progress? I'm not saying to analyze why this is happening, what happened in the past, but really what can be done.
It is. Yeah, it's interesting. I would have to say the same. That I noticed that with some, it's easier. And actually, I think it's easier with those I don't know. And with those that the thought is coming here that those that don't make me feel threatened in some kind of way. Inevitably, as it was said this morning in the class, we are not totally soul conscious yet. So there are some egos around, or more than some. And ego gets threatened. Ego is insecure. And ego is looking for danger. And so ego won't see the good, is on high alert. Whereas when we meet with somebody that we don't know and is not going to have much impact on us, whether they're nice or they're not nice, then we can relax. The soul is more relaxed. So truly the only way that we can, I've seen myself, there's a few things we can do. One is to play with soul consciousness myself on my own. Be more introverted, even around other souls. And not to mind that it's happening. That's probably the bottom big thing, is not to mind that it's happening. And to stay and to observe that it's happening. Be a bit light about it. Keep see, it's quite good to see the silly side and the funny side of these different situations we get into with people, and to strengthen my own self-respect, not based on the physical, anything physical, strengthen that true self-respect, stay in that, play with that, and have the value for myself based on that, not what I do, not what I have, not the role I play. Be very aware that these things do affect, that I can become even, I mean, it's awful to say this, but I kind of see how you know, there's an identity in this one around being British, in inverted commas. And, you know, what with all this Brexit and everything, it's actually been increased. And even if one's not wanting to be like that, one gets affected by what one is reading and it's been quite interesting to observe an ego based around being British. And then I can see myself reacting differently to people based on my perceived perception of their nationality, and wow, it's good. It's good. Actually, that's the thing to say. It's good. I observe this. It's really, bottom line is it's good.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ați dori să spuneți ceva acum, observațiile voastre sau o întrebare pentru Sally?
Am să încerc o întrebare și poate că este foarte apropiat de ceea ce a spus Sally acum. Dacă trăiești împreună cu persoane cu care ai relații toxice, deci unul depinde de celălalt și această relație este așa închisă, care nu vezi luminița de la capătul tunelului. O trăiești cum o trăiești, e o chestiune întreaba aceasta, dar nici nu poți să scapi în acest fel de această relație, fiindcă unul depinde de celălalt. Ei, în această situație, ce poate să facă un brahmin ca să fie și plăcut într-un anumit fel forma lui de brahmin, ca să accepte celălaltul suflet și să trăiască și viața ei până la urmă cât de cât potrivit de fericită.
Da, mulțumesc, Yoji. So Yoji said, if you are living with someone and you are having a relationship which can be toxic, and what can be done so that you can continue as a Brahmin? You are having a certain lifestyle, and as a Brahmin living with that person, how can you make it in such a way that it is enjoyable, it is pleasant, and it is also your Brahmin life? I don't see Sally now, and I don't hear.
Right? Do you not see?
Now I see you.
Okay, it's okay. Yes, it doesn't come. The camera doesn't come until.
Sunt prezent, Yoji.
Hi. Nice to see. Hello. Hi. Yeah. Not sure I'm necessarily the best one to answer, but I mean, this one has lived a lot with family and been a Brahmin. Not got everything right, I have to say. The main thing, I suppose, is keeping your own self-respect and also accepting their position. I mean, this one lived for many years with my mother, who's not a Brahmin, who wasn't a Brahmin, and my son, who was and then wasn't. And I suppose the main thing was I kept the Brahmin structure for myself firmly, like to get up in the morning, even if I went to sleep, to get up for Amrit Bela, even if it wasn't so successful necessarily always, to make my own food, to go to class, listen to them early, to go to, for many years initially I was not able to do that. I had a small child and I was not able to leave. So, but I would still keep the same structure regardless. And I kept that going even though others were not Brahmin, and even if I would say I'm not sure how well I did it, but I suppose that's one aspect that I could suggest, that we need to just keep firm for ourselves, but not impose it. You know, where we can. I remember once the family saying, "It'd be really nice to go away on holiday together," and with my brother as well, who's not Brahmin. And I said, fine, yeah. We would go for a week into a chalet, and you know, I'm happy to go, and I'm happy to cook. I'll cook for the week. I think I offered. I can't remember exactly the scenario, and it was so nice because I looked after my mother effectively, and while my brother and my son could go and do many different things. And I saw it as very much a sense of service. So there's that aspect that we're serving others, no expectation of the other. Be nice, to be whatever, but to feel that I am here for service. I am in this situation to serve the other soul in whatever way I can. You know, but we cannot stop. Of course, they might get upset because they want to cook and we're not eating. That may be something to clarify with the senior in that situation. Different situations need different clarification, but taking clarification of those sort of things, because obviously in a husband-wife relationship or something like that, maybe the wife has always been the one that's cooked. So I may be advised to continue to eat, to let that person cook and to eat that food, but I have to take, it's good to take Srimat on that. I don't know whether any of that is helpful.
Yes.
But seeing that one is in any situation, wherever we are there. Baba has put us there for service. We have not put ourselves there. It's like I see myself as like I have just been placed there for service. It's like I've gone away and I've come back purely for service. Prashant uses the analogy of the sinking boat. We're in the sinking boat just to help others out of the boat. We're not there for any cake on the boat. So don't see the problems, don't see the attitude, see the soul again and again, and send love to that soul every day, every morning, maybe Anrivela. Send lots and lots of love, because it's a bit of a challenge when somebody becomes a Brahmin and you don't want to be. You know, it's kind of quite a challenge. Is that helpful?
De dimineață, știam treaba aceasta de dimineață, la Amrit Vela se poate face să ai niște cuvinte, să ai niște gânduri, nu cuvinte, foarte plăcute pentru ei. Și asta are o anumită putere.
Ioji, nu te putem vedea foarte bine. Fă așa fel încât să te vedem. Vedem numai gura ta. Așa e mai bine, mulțumim. Ok, spune acum.
Am numai telefon. E bine așa?
Da.
Ei, am să țin așa atunci telefonul. Deci, la Amrit Vela de dimineață, dacă ai niște gânduri pozitive către persoana respectivă, deci asta nu neapărat trebuie să fie în cadrul familiei, poate să fie și un coleg de lucru. Deci, indiferent cine este, asta este singura metodă prin care, pe cursul respectiv, poți să aduci, hai să zicem așa, o îndreptare a situației. Dar o rezolvare definitivă e foarte greu de făcut. Durează foarte mult timp. Dar mulțumesc pentru Sally că a împărțit această părere a ei. Mulțumesc! Thank you!
Okay. So he said he knows about Amrit Vela. Yoji has been in knowledge for more than 15 years and he has been to Madhuban several times, and he knows that you can fix things or make them better by sending good wishes at Amrit Vela. But to really fix a situation, the relationship, it takes time and more than that. Thank you very much. We may have, s-ar putea să mai avem timp pentru o ultimă întrebare. Cineva dorește să pună o întrebare sau să comenteze? Încurajări pentru voi să puneți întrebări practice, orice aveți acum în gând sau ceva din viața voastră care ați dori să întrebați sau să comentați.
Eu nu am întrebări, vreau doar să o felicit pe Sally ca mamă singură. A rămas motivată lângă baba și apreciez că de fiecare dată transmite o poftă de viață. Și mulțumesc că am împărtășit cu noi acest timp și mă bucur de fiecare dată când avem astfel de suflete de la care învățăm. Mulțumesc!
She would like to congratulate Sally for being a single mother and staying close to Baba all this time. And she's grateful for you spending your time and sharing with us. And she also feels that she appreciates and enjoys that you have so much happiness in life, like you really enjoy life. And you are sharing this with us. Altcineva mai dorește să spună ceva? Vă puteți porni camera sau spune ceva. Da.
It's interesting. I mean, I suppose the main thing is the feeling here is such fortune. Baba found me, that I came to Baba. was in such a poor place at that time, and such gratitude for that. Actually, Baba really changed this one's life completely. And I had tried everything else before coming to Baba. And I suppose there's that feeling of, keeping that feeling alive of what one has gained from Baba is so helpful. The life that Baba is giving and the value of it, keeping this alive helps us see the contrast and helps us not lose the contrast of what we have now compared to what we had before. And I think many people have gone through that, but it's very easy. Maya is terribly clever at putting the blanket over and you forget the contrast and holding on to that contrast, even if things are not so easy.
I'm aware of time.
Yeah.
Would you like to finish what you wanted to say?
Yeah, just holding that contrast. Don't forget what you have, Baba has given. Just really hold on to that. And re-emerge it again and again. The value of what you have.
Okay.
Lovely to meet you all.
So shall we finish with a 2 minutes meditation? And let's have this 2 minutes meditation. Yes, many thanks, and we hope to see you soon again. Would you like to conduct meditation for us, Ali?
I think we can share drishti. Got little boxes here at the top.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Dacă doriți să deschideți camerele, e fericită de asemenea să conducă meditația în liniște.
Ioana. What should you say? Need to see everyone. Special souls. Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you very much and see you soon. Mulțumim tuturor și vă aducem aminte meditațiile seara de la ora 8 și joi este întâlnirea Aviact cu Babdada, transmisia de la Madhuban, joi după masă de la ora 3 pe 31 decembrie. Iar săptămâna viitoare este un nou curs Sanjivani, o nouă retragere Sanjivani de luni până duminică la ora 4 după masa. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, la revedere!
Om Shanti.
Om Shanti, o seară minunată pentru toți.